Wonderverse. Angela Crannock is not so much fun. So can you hear me? You can hear me well?
It is a little odd. Like it's a little, it's sort of it goes in and out, where it's clear and then when it's not.
I did go and test all the audio beforehand.
It's better when you've got it there. Can you clip it to your shirt so it doesn't move?
Yeah,
Let's just try that.
how's that? So I'll just hold it here and we'll pick up next. So, very exciting to be with you today, Maddie. We spoke the other day about all the things that are happening over in Wonderverse, and um, we were obviously introduced through another one of the Neuro Awesome community, and so, but today I wanted to welcome you in and say hello and welcome to everyone. I'm Carolina from Cara PR, and also I started a not-for-profit called Neuro Awesome. And I'm so excited to have Madeline here today from Wonderverse. It through our networking circles, um, it seems to me that we share the same passion within our neuro awesome community. And so today I'm joined by Madeline and someone whose work speaks so beautifully to that mission. So Madeline from Oneverse, today we'll talk about neuro-inclusive spaces, what so many spaces still get wrong, what you're building through Wonderverse, and why this matters for our community. So welcome, Maddie. Thank you so much for your time this morning. What can you tell us about Wonderverse?
Yeah, well, Wonderverse started, believe it or not, when I was 8 years old. So when other kids would play, other fantasy games, I don't know what people played, I was playing like businesses, and I used to have a calculator and a stapler and bits of paper, and I'd pretend I was running a business, and I would answer the phone and I would say, "Hello, Wonderverse, Madeline speaking." And when I was 8, I used to imagine, the whole of the universe and all the people in it. And I wonder if we all got together, could we make a way to have us all be happy?
That's
And
cute. I love that.
and I didn't think much else about it. I fantasized about this place. And so I love when you were introducing me, you said, what's happening in the Wonderverse? Because it is for me like a place you can go to, like it's a world that you can live in. So yeah, so from 8 years old, I had that fantasy, and that's a long time ago. That's over 4 decades ago. And in all that time, I traveled through all these different parts of life, and eventually it all came together when I discovered that, my three kids and myself were autistic ADHD. And, you know, we know, I mean, I'm talking to someone who already knows this, but we know that, 1 in 20 Australians are neurodivergent. We're not talking about like a small group of people, and the world's not really designed for us. And, there's barriers to, I really am not a fan of this word, but neurotypical people and neurodivergent people being able to really come together and communicate in ways and share time together in ways that work. So, um, really Wonderverse is about that kind of systems change. How do I bring the world into Wonderverse? So that's through, training and consulting and community play events and a bunch of things. But the latest venture is opening a studio that we're calling the Wonder Play Studio, um, where it's designed for neuro inclusion, but available and open to everyone. Because what we know about neuroinclusion is what you do for neurodivergent people actually empowers everyone. So it's designed for neuroinclusion, but it's open for everyone. And we're inviting people into co-working, collaborating, workshops, events inside of our space in a way that works for everyone.
Incredible. So in terms of the Wonderverse experience inside the Wonder Place studio, what can you tell me about that? What it look like? What it feel like?
You know, lately people, when they ask me that, I've been thinking a lot about hybrid because it's a word we use all the time, you know, hybrid working, um, that hybrid conferences. And I've been thinking about it because I think, you know, our space is hybrid in the sense that you could walk in there and go, hang on, is this an office or is it my house? And it has that feeling of really coming home, like the kind of feeling when you walk in your own door, you take your shoes off, you chuck your bag down, you go and sit in your favorite spot, you make your favorite drink and you breathe out. It has that feeling like when you go home. And then the space itself is like a beautiful warehouse. Well, I say beautiful, but it's like, you know, a funky New York style warehouse. Um, and we filled it with spaces that are like nooks. So you can go and be in a little team of people, or you can work by yourself. There's like a whole astroturf area where you can take your shoes off and lay on the floor. There's real plants everywhere. There's lots of natural light, no fluorescent light. And then this beautiful room that we call the playroom that has all sorts of furniture in there, including like pods that you can get inside of so that you could configure the space in all sorts of ways to work for you.
That's amazing. How did you come up with this?
Because I'd been to other places and you know, I'd tried like you know, I'm autistic ADHD and I find the world and people overwhelming. And I tried, but I also want to be with people, you know, at the same time. Um, and I'd been to other co-working spaces and there was just so much that I struggled with. I struggled with the noise, I struggled with the light, I struggled with the smells, I struggled with everybody wanting to chit chat with me and small talk. And I felt paralyzed really. And in a space where I'm supposed to feel like I could work, it was like had the opposite effect on me, where I just felt paralyzed. And so, yeah, I was like, where does someone like me go? Where do I go when I want to be with people, but I need the environment to work with me? And that's really how it happened.
That's so good. Yeah, I've certainly been into lots of different types of co-working spaces and some that felt so something like the air so extremely hot and there were no windows, the lights, and I was like, oh, I want to escape. So yeah, I can really resonate with that. And now the next
And I think, you know, Cara, the thing to say is like, I don't know how many people have been in there now. We've been open for 8 weeks, but you know, let's say at least 100 people have come through, and every single one of them get out the lift and you're in the middle of the warehouse, right? So you're like right in it. And they get out the lift and they go like this. Oh, oh, this feels so nice. And it just happens time after time. It doesn't matter who it is. And you know, that's what we've created.
amazing, really, I can't wait to see it. Um, so so yeah, we spoke about what most co-working places are strong in terms of the space, but what specific decisions did you make one place to go
Yeah.
that make it genuinely different?
Yeah. So it is different. And you know, if you didn't know what we'd done, you might just go, this feels nice, but you wouldn't realize that there were all these things that happened to make it feel that way. So there's a few things. One is it's predominantly natural light. And then every other light in there is a warm light. It's got a warm glow. There's lamps, and there's lots of opportunity to turn lights on and off so that you can control the way the lighting is in the environment. That's one of the big ones. And that includes even the blinds that can come down, because there's a lot of, it's a warehouse that's got big open windows out, to William Street. And so there's even blinds there that can come down so that you are not in full daylight, even if you don't want to be. So the lighting was one thing. The other thing is configuring. So we have these like spaces where you can basically hide. There's sort of these cupboards that actually have real, like a big plant box on top of them with big plants growing out of them. And so it's sort of like a little mini jungle, but you can get in these corners and work without people watching you and looking at you. So that's another thing that we've done. Part of it is also really enhancing the way the noise is. So putting things in place to try and dampen as much noise as possible, but also really celebrating whatever's needed. So, you go to some places, and if you were the person in the noise cancelling headphones, you'd probably really feel like the outsider in the room, whereas this is like absolutely normal. So there's lots of visual signage that supports celebrating, using fidgets, using stims, taking your shoes off, getting up and walking around if you need to, and sitting in a corner and not talking to anyone if you need to. So, lots of visual supports and signs that say, hey, you really can be yourself here. Then we've got what we call our brain break bowls. So we've got these bowls of Lego that have these prompts there. So if you need to, just take a break from the work you're doing and play with some Lego, that kind of thing's in there. But I think the main thing is when you go to co-working spaces, you're pretty much just thrown into an environment where you have to find where a spot, find a place in the room. And who knows who you'll end up being near and who's going to want to talk to you, right? But in our co-working space, everybody's got a dedicated spot. So if you come, that's your desk. We've already put a monitor in there. We've already put all the connections in there. You just turn up with your laptop. It's your chair. You've got your own lockable cupboard, so you could store things in there, leave some snacks, leave your keyboard in there. And so every time you turn up, you're in your place and your spot. And I feel like that's the game changer for people.
Yeah, because we are preaching to habit and we find it, and it does make a big difference and work. So I really love that. I think you've done an incredible job. Did you have someone help you with this planning, or was this just your beautiful brain going in all directions, going OTC to make things?
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Well, it's a bit of both, really, because it is my beautiful brain. Just, I've got all this background in theatre and making theatre, and so being really creative, but also building spaces, like making environments. So there's that part in my history. But then there's also now in the last 5 years, I've been deep in the neurodivergent space and working with people who do have evidence-based neuroinclusion practices and receive training on how to cause environments in an evidence-based way. So it is backed by evidence, but it has the creativity of someone who's let their brain create something.
Amazing. I love that. And that's one of the superpowers of people who are on the spectrum, that they are very creative and very detailed. So you've taken what you've seen and then you have formulated it. Just fabulous. So why? So now that you have this amazing space, a fantastic dedicated space, what are some of the programs that you run inside?
Yeah, so I think the other thing to say that's unusual about our co-working space is often it's really people that run their own businesses or work inside a business that want to be in a space, outside of their house to work. Whereas this is almost all creatives or people who are in social impact. So the community itself is this beautiful mix of people who want to make social change and difference and impact with creatives. So even that really shapes the environment. So what we currently do is have co-working. So you can come in and we have like clubs, So it's like Thursday Thriving. So you're the Thursday person and you come in once a week and it's the same 8 to 10 people in the space. You build relationship, excuse me. You build relationship with that group, or you might come in on a Wednesday and then you build relationship with that group. So we have like a daily group of people that come in and co-work. Then on top of that, we really create the space for other organizations to come in and cause events, workshops, like the launch of something. We've had creatives do film screenings inside the space. So it's an event space where you can do all sorts of activities. And what's launching, I know this is live, but what's launching on Friday is we're about to start the Writers Playground. And the Writers Playground is a series of programs, residencies for playwrights and screenwriters and TV writers to come in and craft their work and have expert support in a community. And then we're going to have Writers at Play, which will be a monthly club where you leave your laptop, you're not allowed to bring your laptop, and you come in and there's different play prompts to really reignite your creativity instead of staring at a screen. So that's some of the programs that we're running.
That's amazing. I just have one question. So if I wanted to pop in for a casual day, how do I go about that? How do you facilitate that given your
Yeah. So at the moment, what we're also doing is like a monthly co-working day for people to come and try it out. So for the first time, don't charge anything, just come and be with us for a day. And our next one is on April 17, where they can just literally come and spend the day working in the studio to come find it out. We also do once-off things for people. If we've got space in the studio and you say, hey, I just want to come one day next week, people can book in for a once-off. So it's not like you can't. We're just really attempting for people to have connection. And what we're finding is you come in for one day, you love it, and then you want that connection.
I could see myself already in that space coming out and like I did the jump there. So so everything about the Wonder Place studio immediately feels like this built for me and others like me who want to be creative, want to be working with other people are on that same flow of creating their own business, creating change, and that are passionate about doing life on their own terms. So I'm super excited about Wonder Play. Can you tell me a little bit about why the name Wonder Play? What does play have to do with work, creativity, and community for neurodivergent adults?
Yeah, so Wonder Play is like a methodology that I've created because I really am that it's the access to the world working.
Yeah.
And it's two very specific things together. One is wonder. I wonder what life is like for that person. I wonder what it looks like from that point of view. I wonder how it feels for them. I wonder if we put these two people together, what will happen? That sense of wonder that stops us limiting things, limiting ourselves, limiting people, judging and assessing others, and then staying with that judgment. But being in a constant state of wonder brings new life to relationships, new life to projects. And then play is very action based. And we actually, all of us, it doesn't matter what country you grew up in or who raised you, at some point, someone in your life when you were a really little toddler put you on the ground with other little toddlers and said, play. And maybe they gave you a toy, maybe they didn't, maybe they gave you a cardboard box and said, use that. And, it's where we discovered everything about our humanity. We learned to connect with other people. We learned to share. We learned to fight and get over it. We learned to problem solve, negotiate, love strangers. It's a place where we learned so much about our humanity. And then, over time, as we went through school or maybe not, but as you go through life, that gets knocked out of you. You need to be serious, or you need to be competitive, or you need to produce a result. And that actually innate human capacity to play disappears. And when you add wonder and play together, and then you truly allow people to be, magic happens.
So really, from your perspective, what gap are you seeing in the market when it comes to facing neurodivergent adults, especially faces that support connection and belonging?
Oh, there's so much gap, Cara. It's really hard for me to talk about because there is so much gap for neurodivergent people. But one of the other reasons why I started this space is for people to get, you're not crazy. It's actually wonderful that you are this way. And there are plenty of other wonderful people just like you. And, we know that social outcomes and statistics for neurodivergent people are horrifying. We know that unemployment is horrifying. And we also know more and more that neurodivergent people are branching out and creating their own ventures and their own businesses because that's what works for us. And so being able to do both that and belong really matters. And that's missing.
Yeah. We echo that very much in Europe, that we're not about fixing neurodiversity, we're here to celebrate it, and you belong here. Being neurodiverse and some of the best minds in the world, the people that are creating technology, that are the leaders. So yes, I'm so with you on this. And I'm so excited now to segue into our very exciting announcement that Wonderverse is now officially of NeuroAwesome and helping us to branch out our neuro. So we are very excited and we couldn't be more proud and grateful that we've been connected into your wonderful Wonderverse. And I just can't wait to get down there and see this space. I love everything that you've shared, and it speaks so directly to everything that we are working towards and the reason that we exist. We both know that there's a real need in the market for our neurodiverse community, and making space inclusive, not just on paper, but actually in real life and in a way that
Here, exactly.
So look, we haven't set any dates yet for the very first Neurospace to happen in Sydney, but for everybody who has tapped into the live, let's give everyone a little bit of details about where you're located, how they can get in contact with you to check out the space, and a little bit about, booking.
Yeah. So we are on William Street in Darlinghurst. So basically where Hyde Park is one end, and then at the other end is King's Cross and the Coca-Cola sign. in the middle of that, that's where we are, right in the middle, right in Darlinghurst in the city. And we you can find us easily by going to our website. So it's wonderverse.com.au, and you'll see there's a dedicated spot for the Wonder Play studio there, which is how you can get more information and book in. And yeah, we would love you to come on April 17 to our next co-working day and come try. Oh, we do community lunch too. If you want to, you don't have to, but we have a chef, a cook come in every co-working day and cook community lunch, and we stop working and we share and we eat together. So that's the added bonus.
Love that. Oh, that's so exciting. Well, look, I am so excited to get down there, and you're on Insta, I imagine, and
Yep, at Wonderverse. Yep.
so yeah, we'll pop all of your social channels in the chat, and look forward to our very first Wonderverse and Neuro Awesome collaborative event. So everyone, keep your eyes peeled. It's happening. I had so many requests for when are you bringing Neurohands to Sydney. Well, here you have it. This fabulous lady on our screen, she's been the one to make it happen. So let's have a big cheer for Madeline. Golf clap. We're doing amazing things together. Welcome to Team Neuro Awesome, and thank you for being our sponsor. And we're just sending you so much love here from the team at Neuro Awesome, and thank you for giving us your time today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Pleasure. Alrighty. Well, you have the best day ever, and I'll be up. I'm going to aim to come up next week, check out the space, and start making plans for our first
Right.
hero hang.
Great. All right. Thank you.
And see you soon. Bye.